Pro tip. If you're going to call a man who escaped execution for being Jewish a fascist and a Nazi, your IQ might be the same number as the penny candy from Walmart. Yo, welcome to another Breaking Badger episode. I'm Max Starrett, that's Allison Tiemann in the middle, and Karen Strawn at the end. I'm not doing these fancy intros today because I'm both sick and pissed off. So, let me give you the details, and then these two lovely ladies can give you the measured discussion, right? So, I was supposed to go to this event this coming Tuesday on August 22nd at Ryerson University in my hometown of Toronto. It was titled The Stifling of Free Speech on University Campuses, and it was supposed to be, the two of the main speakers there were supposed to be Dr. Jordan Peterson, who a lot of us in our community may know, as well as Dr. Gad Saad. And the event was canceled after enough people contacted the Ryerson administration expressing their distaste. Apparently, people organized their campaign to contact the university on Facebook. This Facebook group is called No Fascists in Our City, and in less than 24 hours, 523 people intended to hold a counter-protest if the free speech event could not be canceled. One of the organizers of this event, a woman named Christine Elizabeth, wrote the following on the Facebook page in celebration. We got this shut down in less than 24 hours. Thank you to everyone who called or emailed Ryerson. We are still going to do a rally. Stay tuned for updates. Whose streets? Our streets. When Peterson and Saad supporters showed up to this Facebook page, Christine decided to shut down the comments and provide the following statement. Quote, Alright, so clearly we had a lot of activity on the page in the last 12 or so hours. We decided to lock comments and such for now as the trolls are getting really out of hand. We want to clear some things up because we're nice like that. We didn't call anyone a Nazi. We don't care that Gad is Jewish. We don't care that Peterson is a professor. We don't care that you are offended. We care about transphobia being eliminated. We care about Islamophobia being eliminated. We care about racism being eliminated. We care about sexism being eliminated. We care about classism being eliminated. We care about xenophobia being eliminated. We care about our friends and neighbors who are targeted and harassed for their religious beliefs, for their gender identities, for their sexual identities, for the sheer fact that they exist. And you will not silence us. We will not be party to your hate. We will bind together as a community with a show of love and compassion so strong that you will bow to us. Well, listen up, Christine. Guess what? People like me, Karen, and Allison, I know that I'm speaking for them purely when I say this. We care about transphobia being eliminated, racism, sexism, classism, xenophobia being eliminated. And if you had any capacity to not be self-centered, narcissistic twatlicks and actually make a simple 5-minute Google search looking up who these people are before you start throwing out claims of Nazism and fascism, you might be able to actually be truly righteous advocates for justice. But unfortunately, because of all the premium Starbucks coffee you drink, your brain cells are all out of fucking whack. You guys have nothing positive to offer this existence. All you do is make the lives of people who try to do positive things more difficult and miserable. Fuck yourselves. Karen, Allison, please take it away.
I don't know if we can follow that. I mean, I feel like Chuck Berry coming in after Jerry Lee Lewis played Great Balls of Fire at that theater.
You notice what they didn't include?
Set the piano on fire, so.
You notice with it, anti-Semitism?
Yeah, I know. They didn't include anti-Semitism, of course, because, you know, having anti-Semitism and Islamophobia in the same list of things would be
problematic,
would be uncomfortable. Yeah.
And the other thing they didn't include is persecution due to your ideological beliefs or wrong think. That's okay. That, you know, silencing people, hurting people, making them suffer because of thinking things that you don't agree with, that's acceptable. I mean, we're not going to wake up couple generations from now, look back at this, at these people. What's her name?
Christine Elizabeth.
We're not going to look back at Christine Elizabeth and in a couple generations and just wonder how the hell we ended up there again. Persecuting people, getting them fired, beating them up.
It's not even persecuting them for their beliefs, right? Because it's persecuting them for not being ideologically aligned, right? So it's persecuting people for a lack of belief or for a lack of ideological alignment. It's not even so much that they dislike, what I think in particular, other than that it's not what they think, right? I don't know whether they
understand what we think.
I think they just hate any ideology that isn't theirs, right? So it's not like they're targeting a specific ideology. It really is like that kind of that one meme out there, with the authoritarian on the top and the libertarian on the bottom and the left and the right, and it's all alt-right, 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 and then up in the corner at the very top left is, this little semicircle of good people.
I don't see this. I don't see this ending well. Like I said to you earlier today, I'm hoping for a civil war because the alternative is a genocide targeting people like me.
Well, targeting people like anybody who isn't willing to conform, right?
Yes.
Like that's really what it's demanding, is conformity.
And under the belief that, people who don't conform can conform. It's just obstinance. It's just being willfully, I don't know, what would they call me? Willfully sexist, internalized misogyny, willfully racist. It's just being willfully wrong so you can punish them for it with a completely clear conscience.
Well, I think one of the things that Jordan Peterson brought up in the initial debate that was held at the University of Toronto, I believe, with the two other debaters, so 2 against 1, of course, because they can't have a fair fight. It's not allowed. One of the points that he brought up was that, he has enough trouble remembering people's names, right? So when people tell him, well, it's very easy to just make an effort to, to memorize somebody's pronouns, right? Like it's not that hard. And he's like, I don't even remember what your freaking name was. You were introduced to the audience like 3 minutes ago. Right?
Yeah, and that becomes a hate crime. Not being able to remember someone's name, it becomes a hate crime.
Yeah, well, and I mean, you look at what CUPE did, the Canadian Union of Public Employees, which is Canada's largest public sector union, possibly the largest union, period, in Canada. They put out a video. It was narrated by a non-binary lawyer who said, there are a few good reasons to use people's preferred pronouns, right? And I'm going to tell you all about them. Number 1, it's the law, right? And his whole thing with Bill C-16 was that it would mandate speech, that it would compel people to use these pronouns, not just, to offer the same protections to trans people that are offered to, gay people and lesbians and Muslims and women and all of that under human rights legislation in Canada, but that it would actually mandate and compel people to use pronouns. And everybody told him he was a conspiracy theorist. Everybody told him that, no, the bill doesn't say anything about pronouns. You're out of your mind. Stop being so alarmist, right? It'll never happen. Bill C-16 passed like a couple months ago, and we already have the Canadian Union of Public Employees saying it's the law to use somebody's preferred pronouns. Right? And they put that video up, and then everybody went, onto the video and went, weren't you the fucking people who told us that Bill and this woman, it's definitely a woman, not a they, not an it, right? She said in the video that this is a result of Bill C-16. Right? So everybody swarms the comments going, you guys are the ones who said that the bill wasn't going to do this. Right? That the bill was not going to do... Oh, you're crazy. It won't do that. It will never be used for that. Nobody's ever going to go to jail or have to pay a big fine over accidentally using the wrong pronoun. Right? Yeah, no. They are. Apparently. According to CUPE. And then they took the video down.
What I can't believe is, do they not know that Jordan Peterson studied authoritarianism for 40 years and started to speak out against this because he was seeing disturbing parallels
Yeah,
of course they fucking don't.
To the 1930s in Germany, yes, disturbing fucking parallels, yeah.
And the only difference is now we have, I hate to say it, but I really do hope this becomes a civil war. Because if they are not unchecked, they will take this to the bitter end. And that bitter end will be killing everyone, or trying to kill, or stigmatizing, or destroying the lives of everyone who cannot think like they do. And it is not a will not think, it is a cannot think. If you are going to say that a person can identify as mayonnaise, how can you not realize that there are people out there who do not think in the same ways that you do? And it's not an issue of being able to choose to think differently. It's not an issue of that. I can't choose to just agree with a reality that's forced on me by a fucking authority. That's not the way my mind works. It doesn't fit. It took me until hearing these people and seeing what's going on to really understand what happened. That scene with Winston in 1984, which maybe the people listening have never read. We read it in high school, where he is forced to say that 2 + 2 equals 5, not 4 or 5. And I never understood I never really understood it till now. And now I realize it's because of whatever authority says is reality. And he was forced into that. He was forced into not having any mind and any other reality but what authority said it was. And that's what's going to happen. And every person who is not easily able to make their memories and their thoughts and their beliefs and their attitudes conform to what people in authority tell them are going to be fucking killed, or our lives are going to be destroyed. And I have the distinct pleasure of watching the people who are going to orchestrate this destruction and most likely will attempt to kill me. I don't know if they'll get to me or Karen or Max, but they will try. They will take it to that point because we are, of course, Nazi sympathizers. So they have every right to do it. Of course, even Gad Saad, who's Jewish, is also a Nazi sympathizer. That's right. I mean, if you think that Jewish people are going to be exempt from that, they're not. And they're going to do everything they can to silence us, to destroy our lives, up to and including kill us. And we get the distinct pleasure of watching them posture self-righteously as they work themselves up into a fucking genocide. They posture self-righteously like we are the bad ones. And it's
there are victims. Right? That's
there are victims.
That's the narrative that always precedes a genocide is that these are the people who are persecuting us. Now we have no choice but to kill them because we have to defend ourselves. And the really awful thing is that they're causing an equal but opposite reaction from people, not people like us necessarily, but people on the other side who think the way in certain ways as well, who think who are slightly authoritarian.
Just come out with it. They believe in racial purity. I'm not talking about just, white nationalists who want to preserve their heritage. I'm talking about people who want to get rid of multiculturalism. They want to get rid of black people. They want to march them into the ocean, go back to Africa without a boat, that kind of thing. Those kind of people, they exist, and they are being radicalized. Not just that, but the liberals of the extreme leftists are forcing moderates to take a side between persecuting people ideologically, killing them for their brains, or killing them for their skin. This is like a fucking Star Trek episode. It's so fucking retarded. And somehow there's a meaning. There's some sort of meaning. There's some sort of difference that they're making between killing someone for their skin or their brains. What fucking difference? They are not defined by what they hate. They're defined by that they hate. That they are driven by their hatred. It doesn't matter if they're driven by their hatred for people with different kinds of brains or people with different kinds of skin. There's no difference between these groups of people. And I never thought that I would hope that these two groups of people actually do get into a fight with each other. Because the alternative is worse. Because either we'll get killed for our brains, or quite likely, Karen and Max, we'll get killed for sympathizing with people who have the wrong skin color or the wrong ethnicity.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, we're fucked either way, because we're men's rights activists. We've advocated for Muslim men. We've advocated for Jewish men. We have an advertisement on our channel to try to help a black guy in the Bahamas get his roof back. His roof fixed. You think we're going to you think if the real Nazis get in power, we're going to be any less fucked?
All right. Thank you, Allison, for completely killing my buzz for the day.
That was actually epic, though. I want to thank you for that, Allison, because you're right. It's not what they hate; it's that they hate. They're defined by their righteous indignation, and they, even if you try to get them to elaborate upon what it is that they hate, they can't really go beyond what's in the textbook agenda of whatever group they're rallying behind.
Well, I mean, they accuse you. They just say, well, you're a transphobe. Well, you're an Islamophobe. Well, you're a this, you're a that, you're a the other, right? And it's like, okay, how am I? You know, if you ask, how am I? And this is where, like, when I was on the rant circuit earlier today, I was saying you can't win with these people because it doesn't matter what you say or how carefully you say it. They will ignore what you say. You can explicitly say, right? Like I said to the one feminist, you know, I wrote, men and women are treated differently everywhere. Everywhere was in all caps. 2 comments later, she comes back and says, well, unless and until you can stop denying that women are treated differently in the workplace, we can't have a conversation. And I'm like, I thought the workplace was part of everywhere, all caps, right? I literally said that, right? You will not attribute that position to me, that men and women are treated differently everywhere. You will not do it because you can't do it and still hate me, right? So it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter how carefully I explain myself. It doesn't matter any of that. All they do is they put words in your mouth. They read in between the lines of what you wrote, the meaning of what you really meant by what you said, right? According to them. And then they will impute intentions and motivations on you that they believe they know better than you do. You know, I know better, like you professing that that you were motivated by this and you intended this means nothing, right? My belief as to what your motivations and intentions were takes precedence, right? Like, so they're setting up this way of communicating and this way of reading in all kinds of freaking shit into the most banal statements. This is the whole thing with the whole danger of this microaggression, unintentional racism or whatever, right? It doesn't matter what you intend. It doesn't matter that you're not racist, right? You asked a brown person, where are you from, right? And therefore you've done violence to them through asking that. You've aggressed. Yeah. Right? And so I mean, there's no way anybody's ever gonna talk their way out of not being targeted. You know, yep. Like
they have reserved for themselves the absolute right to determine who's engaging in wrong thought at any particular moment, at any particular time, because they understand your intentions and your thoughts better than you do. And they're working up to believe that the only way to create a pure and just society is to eradicate everybody who engages in wrong thought.
I mean, it's worse than 1984, right? Because if they had us strapped to a fucking chair and we're pulling our fingernails out and we yelled out 2 + 2 = 5, they'd just say, well, you know, we know you don't really believe that.
And they just kill you anyway. Or they just permanently, they just like, I don't know, get a bunch of, they just put you in the rape camps. You could be raped to death for the rest, or, you know, for your very short rest of your life.
Like, the whole thing, I don't fucking know. I'm not predicting rape camps. I'm not predicting genocide. I am predicting some really, really ugly, ugly stuff. And the fact that Trump could be quoted or described as stepping back his condemnation of neo-Nazis and the KKK and white supremacist groups, right, which he very clearly condemned, right? He stepped back. He rolled back that. He backpedaled on that because he also condemned the what he called the alt-left protesters who were there illegally without a permit, looking to start violence, right, with weapons, right? And he said, do they not have some responsibility here? Are these are not good people either, right? And of course that means he's a Nazi sympathizer too now, because you can't condemn. It's like V said on one of his recent videos. It's like you have Manchester and you have Arsenal and they're having a soccer match and all of their fans rush the fucking field and start ripping each other apart. And somebody says the Manchester fans and the Arsenal fans are just both a bunch of hooligans and thugs. And the Manchester fans go, "Oh, you're siding with Arsenal."
Okay, I think Max needs to
wrap this up. Yeah, no, ladies, thanks so much for putting forward all that very well articulated rebuttal. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Well, it's rants, but it's also like you all had great points. I figure what I'll do is I'll just summarize this entire episode with just a couple quotes. One is from Jordan Peterson. Or he might be quoting this from somebody else. I don't know. And I'm paraphrasing him a little bit, but it's in civilized society that free speech should be embraced, because with free speech, ideas may die so that people might not. And in respect to Antifa and the people that shut down this event, I want to quote a lyric by a band called Tool and a song of theirs called Opiate to try and explain the mindset of those people. My God's will becomes me. When he speaks to me. He has needs like I do. We both want to rape you. Anyways, we'll keep you guys updated with the situation as things go forward. I'm sure this is not the end of things. I'm sure that Jordan Peterson and Gad Saad are already planning on something else to compensate for this, whether it's a live stream or something that happens in real life. I'm not sure, but just keep your ear tuned to Honey Badger Radio, and we promise you we'll keep you updated. Anyways, if you like this particular video, make sure to like it. If you have any thoughts that you want to share in the comment section below, please do. Please share this video around to let people know what the hell is actually going on. And if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. Honey Badger Radio does tons of videos every single week, including Breaking Badger. I want to thank Karen and Allison for doing this with me on such short notice and for doing most of the work. And until next time, try to have a lovely day.
Support the radio show at the end of the universe. www.feedthebadger.com